Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are going way back, like 6,000 years back to ancient Babylon.
Wow.
To uncover the financial secrets of a city that was legendary for its wealth.
A city so rich, they say it practically glittered?
Our guide on this journey is going to be The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason.
Now, you might have heard of this book.
Yeah.
But we're going to be going way deeper than your typical book report here.
Absolutely.
It's full of these parables, little stories with really big lessons.
So true.
And those lessons are all about how to manage your money.
You know, it's amazing to think that those money management tips that we're going to be talking about come from a time when, like, pyramids were still the new hot thing.
It really makes you wonder if they had chariot insurance back then.
Oh, totally. Or like budgeting apps on those clay tablets they use.
Right.
But seriously, there's some surprisingly relevant stuff in this book.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like right off the bat, we're introduced to Arkad, this guy who goes from being a regular nobody to the wealthiest man in Babylon.
And what's really interesting is that he wasn't some prince or born into a rich family.
Right.
He started out as a humble scribe.
Just a regular guy.
Wanting to figure out how to build wealth.
Yeah.
He was so successful that the king asked him to teach his secrets to everyone.
It's like the ancient Babylonian version of a TED Talk or something.
Totally.
So Arkad, he lays out his path to riches in what he calls the 7 cures for a lean purse.
Like a prescription for your finances.
Exactly, but instead of pills, it's principles.
Right, and that first cure, start thy purse to fattening.
Yeah.
It's all about paying yourself first. Arkad says, set aside at least 10% of your income before you do anything else.
Okay.
He realized that he could live just fine on 90% of what he made in that extra 10%.
Yeah.
That was like planting a seed for his future wealth.
It's like setting up an automatic transfer to your savings account.
Exactly.
Or having your paycheck split with a direct deposit.
Yeah, you're automating your way to being financially stable.
Love it.
And the crazy thing is, Arkad figured this out back when people were trading goats and chickens for stuff.
Seriously, if they can make saving a priority,
yeah,
we can definitely handle it with our fancy apps and stuff.
For sure.
All right, so next up is control thy expenditures.
Ooh.
Now that basically means budgeting.
Right. But forget about those like strict spreadsheets and all that.
Yeah.
Arkad, he saw a budget as a way to help you reach your goals. Not like a set of rules that hold you back.
I like that.
It's about making a plan for your spending. So you can focus on the things you really want.
Yeah, like making your spending match your values.
Exactly.
That's way better than just spending without thinking.
Oh, for sure.
Like asking yourself, do I really need that third latte this week, or could I use that money for vacation fund or something?
Right. It's about making choices with your money.
All right, so now for the exciting part, make thy gold multiply.
Oh.
This is all about investing your savings so they actually grow.
Now, of course, Arkad had to learn a few things along the way.
Yeah.
He tells this story about getting tricked by some jewel merchants who sold him fake gems.
Oh, no.
It just goes to show how important it is to do your research, even back then.
Even in ancient Babylon, you had to watch out for shady people.
Totally. It's like the old saying, buyer beware.
For sure.
It's like falling for those online scams today or putting your money in some scheme that sounds too good to be true.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that you got to research your investments and not just trust anyone who says they can make you rich quick.
Yeah. So Arkad made some mistakes.
He did.
But he learned from them and ended up building his wealth by making smart investments.
And that leads us right into the next cure. Guard thy treasures from loss.
Okay.
He's talking about protecting your investments.
So important.
It's like thinking about diversifying your portfolio, understanding your risk tolerance, and not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, it's like having a financial GPS to help you navigate the investment world.
I like that.
It reminds me of how Arkad talks about getting advice from people with experience.
Oh, yeah.
Like having a mentor for your finances.
To help you avoid those big mistakes.
Okay, so speaking of investments.
Yeah.
Remember that cure about making your home a profitable investment?
Oh, yeah. The whole owning your own place thing.
Well, that definitely started a debate during our pre-show prep.
I bet it did.
Even 6,000 years ago, people were arguing about renting versus buying.
It's a classic dilemma.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it goes beyond time and culture.
So true.
Now, Arkad, being the savvy investor,
Yeah.
he was all about owning your own place.
Yeah.
He thought it gave you stability, a sense of pride,
Yeah.
and long-term wealth.
And you know what? A lot of those reasons still make sense today.
They really do.
But then he throws in this concept that seems so ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Ensure a future income. He's talking about planning for the future.
Yeah.
Making sure your family is taken care of.
Right.
Even if something happens to you.
It's remarkable. He's basically describing life insurance and retirement planning way back then.
Wow.
Back then, it might have been about storing extra grain or having a trade to pass down to your kids.
Right.
But the idea is the same.
It's about having a safety net for the unexpected.
Exactly. And to wrap up his 7 cures, Arcad emphasizes learning new things and developing your skills.
Okay.
With the cure, increase thy ability to earn.
He realized the more you know, the more valuable you become.
Right.
And that means you can earn more.
It's about investing in yourself, always learning new things, and expanding your skill set.
Like we're doing right now with this book.
Yeah, exactly. It's about having a growth mindset.
I love it.
And realizing that learning never stops.
Okay, so we've covered the 7 cures for a lean purse, which is basically Arcad's personal guide to financial success.
Right.
But he didn't stop there.
Oh, no.
He passed down his knowledge to his son Novice.
Wow.
In the form of the 5 laws of gold.
Imagine getting financial advice written on a clay tablet.
It's like a treasure map to financial freedom.
Handed down through generations.
Exactly. And just like a treasure map, it leads to some pretty interesting adventures.
Yeah.
You see, Arcad gave Novice a bag of gold and said, go make something of yourself.
That sounds like a good start.
It does, but Novice didn't exactly become rich right away.
Oh.
He actually lost all that gold by making some bad investments.
Oh, no.
He fell for the smooth talk of some shady horse traders.
Eat boy.
It just goes to show, even with some golden rules, you have to learn how to use them the right way.
Sounds like you could use a little more research before jumping in.
Totally, he had to learn the hard way, just like his father did with those fake jewels.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Those failures didn't stop him. He got back up and decided to really understand those 5 laws of gold.
Okay.
He realized that getting rich wasn't about quick schemes or trusting shady people.
Right.
It was about following those principles consistently.
And being disciplined.
Exactly. And guess what? It worked. Novice eventually went back to his father, not with 1 bag of gold, but 3.
Wow.
1 to replace the one he lost, and 2 more to show how much he had learned.
That's an amazing comeback story.
It shows that even with setbacks and mistakes, you can succeed financially if you stick to the principles and learn from what happens.
All right, so we've met Arcad and his son, Novice.
Yeah.
But Clason doesn't stop there.
He doesn't.
He introduces us to another character, Dabasir, who has one of the most inspiring stories in the whole book.
Oh.
He went from zero to hero, escaping debt and reaching financial freedom against all odds.
That's amazing.
Dabasir's journey starts in the depths of despair as a debt-ridden runaway slave.
Wow.
But he becomes a symbol of hope, showing that no matter where you start, you can change your financial future.
Powerful.
He has this turning point where he stops seeing his debts as just some abstract burden and starts seeing them as enemies he has to conquer.
Like he declared war on his debt?
Exactly. He was hiding out feeling completely defeated when he met Sira, the wife of his captor.
Yeah.
She became like his mentor.
Wow.
Encouraging him to face his financial problems head on.
That's so important, having someone who believes in you.
Absolutely. And Dabasir was really methodical about it.
How so?
He documented his entire journey out of debt on clay tablets.
Oh, wow.
Carefully keeping track of every copper he earned and every debt he paid off.
That's some serious commitment.
Those clay tablets are like a visual representation of his progress.
Yeah.
A reminder of how dedicated he was to becoming debt-free. You can just picture him.
Yeah.
Bent over those tablets, carving in each victory.
As he chipped away at his debt.
What's amazing is that he not only achieved financial freedom, but he also regained his honor and his self-worth.
It's a powerful reminder that being financially well isn't just about the numbers. Right. It's about feeling in control of your life.
Okay, so we've covered a lot in this first part of our deep dive.
Yeah, we have.
We've looked at the 7 cures for a lean purse.
Right. The 5 laws of gold. Right. And we've gotten a glimpse into Dabasir's incredible journey from debt to freedom.
But there's so much more to discover.
Oh, yeah, there is.
In the next part, we'll delve deeper into Dabasir's debt repayment strategy.
Yes.
Explore that fascinating concept of luck through ancient Babylonian eyes.
Can't wait.
And discover how the walls of Babylon themselves offer a powerful metaphor for financial security.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the financial wisdom of ancient Babylon. Before we move on, I just gotta say, Dabasir's story really got to me.
Me too. It's just so powerful.
It's amazing how he used those clay tablets not just to track his debt, but to write down his feelings, you know?
It makes it so relatable.
Like you can really feel his struggles and his triumphs.
Yeah, and it's a great example of how powerful it can be to actually write down your goals and track your progress, you know?
Totally. And what's really fascinating is how Dabasir's plan kind of echoes what financial experts tell us today.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He set this goal of saving 10% of what he earned. He committed to living on 70%.
Okay.
And then he used that other 20% to pay off his debts.
It's like the ancient Babylonian version of that 50-30-20 budget.
Right.
You know, 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings and debt repayment.
It's incredible how those basic principles have stood the test of time.
Absolutely. And he was so disciplined about tracking his spending.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he had this accountability buddy, but instead of a friend, it was like a stack of clay tablets.
I can just imagine him
Right.
carefully writing down every single copper he earned and spent.
Like a sculptor shaping his financial future.
I love that, but those tablets, they weren't just about numbers.
Right.
They also showed his struggles, his moments of doubt, and even how his creditors reacted to him.
Like reading a financial diary full of emotion, you know?
Exactly. He talks about feeling ashamed at first, being tempted to just give up, and the pressure he got from the people he owed money to.
It shows that dealing with debt, it's never just about the math.
Right.
It's a human experience with real emotions tied to it.
And it makes me think about how we approach debt today.
Yeah.
We have all these apps and systems, but those underlying emotions are still the same.
Right.
It's so easy to feel overwhelmed, isolated, even ashamed when we're struggling financially.
Absolutely. Dabasir's story reminds us that it's okay to ask for help,
Yeah.
to talk to people we trust, and to remember that we're not alone in this.
And speaking of challenges, Clason brings up this other interesting idea in The Richest Man in Babylon.
Okay, what's that?
The idea of luck.
Luck, huh?
Yeah, he has this whole parable called Meet the Goddess of Good Luck.
Interesting.
I love how he uses that ancient imagery to talk about something we still think about today.
Yeah.
What does it really mean to be lucky, especially when it comes to money?
It's a good question.
He sets the scene in this temple of learning with Arkad, now this wise old man, holding court with a group of eager listeners.
Okay.
And everyone wants to know where they can find this elusive goddess of good luck.
Right, they're all searching for her.
Something she hangs out at the gambling tables, you know, favoring those who bet recklessly.
Makes sense.
Others believe she blesses those who stumble upon buried treasure.
Oh, yeah, like those lucky finds.
Or inherit a fortune from some long-lost relative.
It's like winning the lottery.
Woo! But Arkad, being the voice of reason,
Yeah.
he debunks those myths.
Oh, really?
He says true luck isn't about random chance or just hoping for the best. It's about being ready to grab opportunities when they appear.
Okay.
It's about having the knowledge, the skills, and the right attitude to spot those opportunities and go for it.
Interesting.
He uses this great analogy of a fisherman.
Okay.
This fisherman spends years studying fish, learning how to cast his nets perfectly, and figuring out where the fish will be based on the wind and the tides. It's not just luck, it's preparation meeting opportunity.
Like that saying, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity.
Exactly.
So you can increase your chances of being lucky by putting in the work, developing your skills, and being ready to take advantage of good situations.
And it's not just about having money either.
Right.
It's about having the right mindset,
Yeah.
the kind that sees challenges as chances to grow and setbacks as lessons learned.
He contrasts this proactive approach with a story about a merchant who struggled with procrastination.
Oh, yeah, I know that guy.
Right? This merchant knew what he needed to do, but he kept putting it off,
Yeah.
letting opportunities slip away because he wasn't ready to act.
I think we've all been there at some point.
Totally. It's that, I'll do it tomorrow, thinking that can really hold us back.
But the merchant eventually realized that procrastination was like an enemy, stealing his chances for success.
Wow.
He decided to fight back,
Yeah.
realizing that he wouldn't let a thief rob his shop. So he couldn't let procrastination steal his future.
That's a great way to look at it.
Right. Procrastination isn't just laziness.
Yeah.
It's like an active force working against us.
And we have the power to choose to fight back.
I love that. And this parable, Meet the Goddess of Good Luck, it really brings together a lot of the key themes from the book.
Oh, yeah. How so?
It shows how important it is to be prepared to keep going even when things are tough. And the idea that while luck might play a role, Our choices are what ultimately determine what happens to us.
Like we create our own luck.
Exactly. And isn't it interesting that this whole conversation about luck takes place in the Temple of Learning?
Yeah, why is that?
It's like Clason is saying that knowledge and self-improvement, those are key ingredients in attracting good fortune.
Absolutely. And that focus on self-improvement, it leads us right into another great story, The Walls of Babylon.
Okay.
This one isn't directly about personal finance,
Right.
but it gives us a powerful metaphor
For what?
for how important protection and security are. It's like a historical thriller with a financial lesson.
So it's about the siege of Babylon.
Yeah.
This time when the city was under attack by a huge army.
Wow.
And Clason focuses on Banzar.
Who's that?
This soldier who's guarding the passageway to the top of those ancient walls.
Okay.
He's like the last line of defense.
The city's protector.
Yeah, a symbol of how strong the city is.
And in the middle of all the chaos and fear, Banzar stands strong.
Yeah.
He embodies courage.
He becomes a symbol of hope for the people.
Right. They're terrified.
And he keeps telling everyone, the walls of Babylon will protect you.
Powerful words.
Such a simple statement, but so strong in its certainty.
He knows those walls mean safety, security.
Yeah, the survival of their way of life.
And those walls, they do hold strong.
They do.
They push back the enemy, and the city survives.
But Clason takes this historical event and connects it to something that's true for everyone.
What's that?
The need to build our own walls of financial security.
I like that analogy.
So just like those physical walls protected the Babylonians from invaders,
Yeah.
we need to create our own financial defenses
Okay.
to protect us from life's unexpected challenges.
What would those walls look like today?
Well, they could be things like emergency savings funds,
Makes sense.
insurance policies, diversified investments,
Okay.
a solid budget.
Right.
Those are the financial tools and strategies that can help us weather those financial storms that inevitably come our way.
So true. Okay, so we've talked about the importance of protection and security.
Yeah.
But Clason brings us back down to earth with a new story.
Okay, which one?
The Camel Trader of Babylon.
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
This story introduces us to Tarkad,
Uh-huh.
this young guy who's struggling to make ends meet,
Yeah.
drowning in debt.
And just like Debasir at first, Tarkad sees his situation as just bad luck. He blames outside forces for his money problems.
He's stuck in that cycle of borrowing and struggling to repay.
Yeah, feeling crushed by his debts.
A feeling I think a lot of people can relate to, unfortunately.
But his perspective starts to change when he meets someone unexpected.
Who's that?
Debasir,
Oh, wow.
the former debt-ridden slave who turned himself into a successful camel trader.
Talk about a mentor.
Right. And Debasir doesn't just lecture Tarkad about responsibility.
No.
He actually shares his own story.
Right.
He reveals his own struggles with debt.
He doesn't try to sugarcoat anything.
Nope. He talks about his early days as a saddle maker, getting caught up in a lifestyle he couldn't afford,
Yeah.
racking up debts he couldn't pay back.
It's great that he's so open about his past mistakes.
I agree.
Even though he's a successful merchant now.
It shows that even the most successful people have had financial challenges.
And it makes his advice more believable.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally. So Debasir's story takes a pretty dramatic turn.
How so?
He ends up running away from Babylon to escape his creditors.
Oh, wow.
And he gets captured by desert raiders.
Seriously?
Yeah, and forced into slavery.
That's rough.
It's like he hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
But it's during this time, while he's enduring the hardships of slavery, that he has this realization.
What's that?
He realizes that running away from his problems didn't fix anything.
Right, it actually made things worse.
It's a powerful realization.
Isn't it?
He had to face his debts head on.
Yeah.
Like he would face an enemy in battle.
He had to stop running and start fighting.
And fight he did.
He did.
With the help of Sarah, his captor's wife. He escapes.
Wow.
And makes this daring journey back to Babylon.
Seriously.
Driven by his determination to conquer his debts and get his honor back.
And he doesn't just go back empty-handed, you know?
He's got a plan.
He does.
Yeah, a detailed strategy for how he's going to repay his debts and rebuild his life.
Based on those same principles we've been talking about.
Exactly. Saving consistently, living within his means.
Right.
Working hard to earn more.
It's like he embodies those principles.
He does, and it's through his personal journey that he becomes an inspiration to others.
Yeah.
Showing them that financial freedom, it is possible even for those who have made mistakes along the way.
Debasir is like the poster child for financial redemption.
Totally. And his story leads us to this fascinating section in the book.
Okay, what's that?
The clay tablets from Babylon. We get to see Dabasir's actual debt repayment plan.
So these tablets, they were discovered centuries later. They're like a window into his financial journey.
They're not just some historical artifact.
Right.
They're his personal finance journal, meticulously documenting his income, his expenses, and his progress towards achieving financial freedom.
It's like a budgeting app, but on clay tablets.
I love that. And what's incredible is how similar his approach is to the advice we hear today about budgeting, saving, and managing debt.
He was ahead of his time.
He set a goal to save 10% of his earnings, lived on 70%, and used 20% for debt repayment. He tracked every copper.
Wow.
Talk about organization.
It's clear that he took his financial recovery seriously.
He did.
And was super disciplined and committed to it.
And those tablets, they also show the emotional ups and downs of his journey.
Yeah.
He talks about feeling ashamed at first, wanting to give up, and how his creditors reacted to him.
It wasn't always easy.
Definitely some were understanding. While others were really pushy about getting their money back.
Like Amar, the guy Dabasir considered his best friend.
At first, Amar was angry.
He was.
He accused Dabasir of trying to cheat him.
Oh, wow.
But eventually, he came to respect Dabasir's honesty and his dedication to paying back what he owed.
It's a good reminder that dealing with debt can put a strain on even the strongest friendships.
It can.
And it shows how important it is to communicate openly, to be honest, and to maintain your integrity throughout the whole process.
Even in ancient Babylon, trust and strong relationships were essential for dealing with financial challenges.
It's a human thing.
Dabasir's story is such a powerful reminder that financial well-being, it's not just about numbers.
Right.
It's about having a plan, being disciplined, and never giving up on yourself.
But here's the cool part. Clason doesn't just leave us in ancient Babylon.
He doesn't.
He brings it all back to the present day.
How?
He includes a letter from this professor who discovers Dabasir's clay tablets and finds them incredibly inspiring.
Wow.
It's like a bridge between the past and the present.
I like that.
Showing us that these ancient principles, they can still work today.
So this professor, he actually used Dabasir's debt repayment plan as a model for his own financial turnaround.
Really?
It helped him and his wife get out of debt.
Wow.
And achieve a level of security they never thought possible.
Amazing, right?
It is.
This ancient wisdom passed down through centuries. It still has the power to change lives today.
It shows that the principles of financial success, they're timeless and universal.
They're as relevant now as they were back then.
Okay, so we've explored stories of debt resilience and that surprising nature of luck.
We have.
We've talked about practical strategies for budgeting, saving, and investing. But there's one last treasure to uncover in this deep dive.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
The story of the luckiest man in Babylon.
Ooh, that sounds promising.
This story introduces us to Sharunada,
Okay.
a man who achieved incredible wealth. But get this, his journey started in the humblest of circumstances. He was a slave.
Really?
Facing unimaginable hardships.
So his story, it challenges our ideas about luck and success.
Exactly.
Showing that true wealth, it's about more than just money.
It's about character resilience and the wisdom to see opportunities when they come knocking.
So are we ready to meet this luckiest man in Babylon?
Let's dive into the final part of our exploration.
I'm ready.
And discover the secrets to his extraordinary success. All right, so we're finally going to meet this Sharunada.
The so-called luckiest man in Babylon.
But his story, it doesn't exactly start with a pot of gold.
Oh.
He actually started his life in Babylon as a slave.
Wow, talk about humble beginnings.
It really makes you think about what luck actually means.
It does.
Sharunada's story, it's not about being born into privilege.
Right.
It's about resilience, hard work, and making the most of what you've got.
You might think someone who started as a slave and became super wealthy just got lucky.
Yeah.
But Clason, he takes us on this journey with Sharunada.
He does.
Showing us that it was his decisions and his actions that made him rich.
So in this story, he's traveling back to Babylon after spending decades building his wealth in Damascus.
Okay.
And he's with this young guy named Hadan Gula,
Who's that?
his former business partner's grandson.
Okay.
And Hadan Gula, he kind of represents a perspective we see a lot even today.
What's that?
He thinks that having a lot of money is the key to happiness.
Like if he just had enough money, all his problems would be solved.
Exactly. It's that classic when I win the lottery thinking.
Right.
But Sharunada, he knows better.
Yeah.
He's been there, done that, and he's come out the other side.
Mm.
He understands that true happiness, it's not about just relaxing and enjoying luxury.
Yeah.
It's about having a purpose, a sense of accomplishment, and doing something that makes a difference in the world.
It's about more than just yourself.
Exactly. And he decides to teach Hadangula a lesson.
How?
By taking him back to the place where his own journey began.
Where's that?
The fields outside Babylon where he worked as a slave.
Wow.
It's like he's saying, look, kid, let me show you where I came from so you understand that wealth isn't just about money, it's about the journey.
That's a powerful message.
And remember the scene where they meet those 3 old men?
Yeah.
Still plowing the same field that Sharunada worked in as a slave?
They've been there for decades.
Stuck in the same routine.
Their lives haven't changed much.
It's a stark contrast to Sharunada's energy and drive.
It's like, even though you might be free from physical constraints like slavery,
Yeah.
you can still be a slave to your own lack of ambition.
For purpose.
Sharunada, he's always pushing forward, building, creating.
He embodies this idea that work, when you do it with passion and purpose,
Yeah.
it can be something you enjoy and find fulfillment in.
Not just a way to make money.
And this philosophy, it comes from his experiences as a slave.
Hmm.
He learned that even in the toughest situations, hard work can be a way to improve yourself and even find redemption.
He actually tells Hadangula about this other slave named Megiddo, who taught him that work well done does good to the man who does it. It makes him a better man.
It's like a guiding principle for Sharunada.
Such a powerful idea.
Right.
Work isn't just about earning money.
Uh-huh.
It's about developing your character, learning new skills, becoming a more capable and valuable person.
And this mindset, it helps him navigate the challenges of the slave market.
How so?
He uses his skills as a baker to impress a potential buyer
Okay.
and ends up in a position where he can earn some money and have a little more freedom.
So even in a situation as restrictive as slavery,
Yeah.
he finds ways to take control and improve his situation.
He even starts selling honey cakes on the side,
A little side hustle.
showing his entrepreneurial spirit.
I love it. And that's how he meets Gula.
Hadangula's grandfather,
Right.
Gula, he becomes more than just a customer.
Oh.
He sees potential in Sharunada and encourages him to keep pushing forward.
Like he sees the future success inside this young slave.
It's a great example of how mentors can make such a difference in our lives
Sometimes all we need is someone who believes in us.
and pushes us to go after our dreams.
But of course, Sharunada's journey isn't all smooth sailing.
What happens?
He gets pulled back into slavery
Oh no, why?
because of his former master's gambling debts.
It's like this cruel twist of fate.
He's working so hard building a new life,
Yeah,
and then suddenly he's back where he started.
but he doesn't give up.
He doesn't.
He uses his experience as a baker to endure the brutal labor of building the Grand Canal,
Wow.
never forgetting his dream of freedom.
His resilience is inspiring.
He keeps his head down, works hard, and waits for another chance.
And does he get one?
He does. Gula sees him working on the canal,
Mm-hmm.
and he's impressed by Sharunada's dedication.
He offers him another chance to work for him.
But this time, as a free man,
Talk about a second chance.
and this time it's not just a job,
No.
it's a partnership.
Oh, wow.
They combine their skills and resources
Wow.
and create this thriving business.
Building a legacy that lasts for generations.
It's amazing what can happen when people work together
Yeah, they support each other.
and accomplish so much more than they could alone.
As Sharunada tells his story to Hadangula,
Yeah.
he emphasizes that his success, it wasn't because of some lucky break.
Right.
It was because of his consistent effort, smart decisions,
Uh-huh.
and believing in his ability to create a better future.
He's basically saying, you make your own luck.
Exactly. Sharunada's story is this powerful reminder that while we can't always control what happens to us,
Right.
we can control how we react to those things.
We can choose to work hard,
Yeah.
learn from our mistakes, and keep going even when things are tough. And by the end of the story, Hadangula, he's a changed man.
He is.
He doesn't see wealth as the ultimate goal anymore.
No.
He sees it as a result of hard work, having a purpose, and creating something valuable.
Sharunada's wisdom rubbed off on him.
So we've explored these Babylonian tales about debt resilience, luck, and what it really means to be wealthy.
We've gone deep.
What do you think is the most important thing we've learned from this deep dive?
For me, it's the focus on taking responsibility for yourself
Hmm.
and the power of consistent effort. These stories, they remind us that financial success, it's not like winning the lottery.
Right.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
It takes discipline, perseverance, and being willing to learn and change.
I totally agree. And I love how Clason takes these timeless principles and makes them so relatable through these amazing stories.
It's not just boring financial
I
advice.
feel like we're transported back to ancient Babylon.
With fascinating characters.
And valuable lessons we can use in our own lives.
It shows that even though the world has changed so much since the days of camel caravans and clay tablets, those basic principles of financial success, they're still the same.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, think about your own financial journey. What steps can you take today to build your own financial security?
To develop a mindset of abundance and to create a life filled with purpose and fulfillment.
Great questions.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
And may your purses always be fattening.
I love it for